for state inspectors to get involved. NBC Barrier's Robert Honda with a closer look at what they want and why.
Well, Tesla has come to represent an important symbol during this pandemic. Owner Elon Musk was able to get Alameda County to back down and let Tesla reopen, but the ongoing community debate remains shrouded in mystery. Are conditions safe? A small band of protesters held a news conference and what was billed as a rally in front of the Fremont plant, demanding the governor have health conditions inspected. They claim ever since the plant reopened in April, after Elon Musk defied a public health order and sued the county, there have been no outside inspections and accused Tesla of hiding health records. The group says more workers would like to join the protest, but fear retaliation.
I'm extremely concerned. I'm one of the few that have decided not to return. I'm not afraid to lose my job because I'd rather lose my job than my life.
You know, Elon Musk and Tesla they have dumbed down, they have degraded this pandemic to nothing more than the flu, when in reality, people are dying. People are dying. There's already thousands here in Alameda County that are infected with this virus, and they're adding to that. They're adding to the deaths of Black, Brown, Asian, API folks, and they're adding to just mistreatment of labor rights. And you know, as a worker, I'm extremely concerned. I'm one of the few that have decided not to return. I keep continuing to yell out, you know, health over profits. At this point, Tesla, all they care about is the profits. Elon Musk, all they care about is the profit. As Steve had mentioned, you know, the PD, and obviously it's very popular to say to divert funds from the PD and actually give it to OSHA. Give it to Cal-OSHA and some health inspectors that belong in the factory. Cal-OSHA only has about 200 inspectors for the whole state of California. So why don't we get more Cal-OSHA inspectors, at least 1,000, so they can visit these factories and fields, right? Not one health official that is knowledgeable of factories has entered this factory. Tesla has claimed, they have sent an email to myself and other workers, they're claiming to be doing their own contact tracing. Isn't that convenient, right? That's super convenient that they're doing their own contact tracing. And they didn't come forward with any contamination until the Washington Post had an article about a week and a half ago. Then they came forward and they sent us an email about contamination. But we knew, the workers knew. I'm not even at work and I knew. There were already rumors. So when they asked me why haven't I returned to work, I'm scared for my life, right? I don't think, you know, I don't trust that Tesla has the workers' best interest in mind. You know, remember there are workers here, it's more like 15,000 workers in 10. It's between 10 and 15,000 workers. You know, a good majority, I can visually attest, as I mentioned before, from 35 to 40% are contract workers. What that means is that they're temporary. They have no benefits, they have no paid sick leave, they have no health insurance. So if some of these workers are infected, they will not be paid if they were sick. And they have no health insurance. So it's criminal what Tesla is doing, and we're calling on Governor Newsom and the Alameda County health officials and Cal-OSHA to do something about it. Are we going to stand still and idle while workers are losing their lives or workers are being infected and contaminated? And not just workers, because they bring it back to their homes, right? One of the things that the EHS department said, the Emergency Health and Safety at Tesla said, is that those folks that were contaminated or infected were through their family. How did they know that? How do they know that it was through their family members? They don't know that, right? And if it were through the family members, one of the things I constantly hear in the emails is, if you feel sick, stay home. They would have stayed home when they were sick, right? And the issue is that it's hard to do contact tracing for the professionals that understand the pandemic and understand this crisis. Imagine an EHS department within this factory. If Tesla and Elon Musk have nothing to hide, if they have nothing to hide, then why don't they come forward with all the people that have been infected, right? Why are they keeping the employees in the dark? One of my colleagues I spoke to just a few weeks ago, almost 3 weeks ago, when the rumor started that folks were infected in the factory, and I actually worked on that line that the folks were infected. One of my co-workers said that he had a meeting with EHS, and EHS told them, you know, it's not your business, it's not you or any of the workers' business to know who is infected. Go back to work is what they told him. And this gentleman that I spoke to, actually, his significant other has a weakened immune system. So could you imagine that? Could you imagine you being the reason why your loved ones are dying? Could you imagine you being the reason why you know, your neighbors are being infected by this heavily contaminated disease, right? Again, you know, Tesla, Elon Musk, do right for your workers. you should be shutting down for every case you have is what we ask you. Shut down and do a proper sanitation in the workplace. There has been no record of sanitation. I have not received not one email of them saying we have, even through the shutdown, we have sanitized every area. Yeah, they put up some screens from what I understand it, but still what I hear is that, some of the workers don't believe in this pandemic, as we all know. People have their own opinions and they don't believe in it. And so the workers don't believe in this pandemic and don't believe in this crisis. They're not wearing their PPE properly, right? And there's from what I understand, there's no penalization for them, right? They're not forcing folks to wear the PPE properly. So the co-workers that I'm in contact with are afraid. And they're also afraid of coming forward. As you can see, there's not many of them here. Even though I contacted a few of them. Why? Because they're afraid. And they're also working 72 hours a week. That's 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, right? So again, Governor Newsom, where are you? Where are you? We are your citizens. We elected you. This is going to affect you. Remember, this is an election year. This is going to affect you. And it's going to affect a lot of the politicians in California, including the supervisors in Alameda County. They're afraid they're going to lose their jobs. They're afraid to lose their jobs. They've been put between a rock and a hard place. Either come to work and contaminate the rest of your family or starve. And they decided to starve, but they also don't want to lose their job in the future or burn any bridges. I don't, for me, I'm about my community. I'm here for the people.
What's your job standing now?
So about a few weeks ago, I want to say mid-May, or I want to say May 20-something, there was an email sent out to all of us saying that for the folks that have not returned to work by May 31st, it will be fired. But I don't think they have fired me. I have received no communication about being fired. I still receive the emails. I still have my credentials. I still have my ID. So I'm in limbo. I'm in limbo. And I haven't collected unemployment. I'm doing DoorDash now because I feel like DoorDash is even though it's terrible, it's less risky than being in a factory with 15,000 workers. I worked there since January, and my job was I was a production associate.
You started
in January, yeah. I'm relatively new.
Okay. All right. How much were you making?
Per hour? Tesla starts you at $19 an hour. That's what they start you at. Both contracted workers and the full-time workers. Because they hire full-time. I'm not contracted, but I'm full-time. And with me, there were another 300 and something workers that were hired. A lot of them were contract workers. A lot of them. But again, no one knows them. I don't know them. No one knows. They're not coming forward with it. So no, I haven't heard of any. Co-workers have said that one of my co-workers said that he knows one of the person that has been infected. So, and again, I haven't been back to work, and I'm relatively new, so I don't know everyone.
The group says workers are working long hours with inadequate safety and social distancing measures.
So we're demanding that Governor Newsom hire 1,000 inspectors and that this plant be inspected so that the workers have some protection.
The governor was asked about the demonstration and the demand for increased inspections, but gave a very general answer.
We have the responsibility to do that. That's OSHA's job foundationally, was pre-pandemic, certainly is as we work our way through this pandemic.
The protesters said they were glad the governor addressed it, but say it's been going on for months and want more action. Tesla did not respond to our request to comment.
In California, although workers are supposed to have protection for speaking about health and safety issues, that's under the law. They're not being protected. They're being fired. In fact, even at unionized locations, workers are afraid to speak out for fear of being terminated. And we don't think that's a healthy situation, not only for the workers and their families, but the public. If people are afraid to speak out, afraid to say that they're sick and are being coerced to work, where does that leave the people of California? This contamination, this virus is not going away. It's with us. It's growing. And we think it's really, people have to ask, who's in charge in California? Is Elon Musk running California? That's what we're asking. Is Elon Musk running California? Saying that these inspectors, and we've been in touch with Cal-OSHA inspectors, they do not have enough staff. The Fremont office of Cal-OSHA is 20% understaffed. Most of the inspectors are over 60 years of age. They're afraid for their lives. They have to hire inspectors that can go out and inspect these work locations so workers have protection on the job. This is a basic human right. We're not just talking about workers. We're talking about human rights. This is a human right to have a health and safety workplace. And for somebody who calls himself a leader in science and a leader in technology, that's what Elon Musk says, why hasn't he provided health and safety protection for the workers? Now, he was very concerned about the space shoot. and sending out these astronauts into space and their safety. He went to there and was very concerned about the safety. What about the safety about the workers here at Tesla? Don't they have the same rights to health and safe working places as the astronauts that Elon Musk is sending into space? We think there's a double standard. Elon Musk wants to make billions of dollars from this factory, personally benefiting. So for him, the lives of these workers and their families, the health and safety of these workers and the families is not that important. That's why he's keeping it a secret here. And we have to ask ourselves again, this epidemic is continuing. People are continuing to get this virus, and Elon Musk is keeping it secret with the support of Governor Newsom. That's intolerable, and we, the people of California, have to demand a change.
I have not heard it personally. I was told that Governor Newsom indicated some support for you today at the end of his press conference. Are you aware of that? Are you impressed by it, or what?
Okay, look, Cal-OSHA has been underfunded, not just under Governor Newsom's control, but also Governor Brown. Since this pandemic started, we're talking about months, 3 months this has been going on. The Labor Federation, the California Labor Federation, many organizations, Work Safe in California, demanded that there be hiring of inspectors and inspections. This has been going on for months, 3 months. Why is Governor Newsom now saying he's concerned? I don't know. Maybe it's because we're having press conferences out here and people are starting to find out that Cal-OSHA is MIA. Cal-OSHA has been MIA, and Governor Newsom is responsible for that. They have not hired any new inspectors at Cal-OSHA in the midst of this pandemic. There's a virus and a destructive pandemic that's killing thousands of people in California. Where is Cal-OSHA? So he may say that he is concerned about it. What's he doing? And also protecting the workers here who speak out, because workers have been coerced here. This plant, and Elon Musk has a record of union busting. He fired several hundred workers who were pro-union in the past. So we don't believe that there's been enforcement of the law, and we're concerned about health and safety. Why would Governor Newsom allow the Fremont Police Department to investigate the health and safety conditions at this plant? Isn't that the job of Cal-OSHA? Since when are the police trained to understand what health and safety conditions are? These police themselves are probably afraid of being contaminated. They're not protected from this virus.
What happens after this press conference? What's the next step for you guys?
Well, we're going to file we're planning to investigate filing a complaint against Cal-OSHA and against Governor Newsom for the failure to protect workers. But this has to be a public issue. That's the first thing. People have to start demanding, calling Governor Newsom, also calling the California legislature. They have, Governor Newsom, as I reported earlier, spent $85 million to nonprofits in California to protect the farm workers of California. The farm workers of California are also in danger from COVID. They don't have proper washing facilities, and they and their families can be infected. We need Cal-OSHA inspectors who can speak Spanish, who can investigate the farms of California, the agricultural workers in California. It's not just these workers in this plant. They're workers, and they deserve actually health and safety as well. They produce our food, and they're not being properly protected. They're not, and this is a systemic problem, really, and it really has to do with how workers are treated in not only in Tesla but California, in this country. And I would have to say that Trump has been arrogantly saying that to hell with the virus, you're going to go back to work. Unfortunately, Governor Newsom is mimicking President Trump, because his refusal to bring in inspectors, his refusal to protect the workers of California is the same thing that Trump is saying. We have to get back to work so we can make more profits. That's what it's all about.
I'm sorry, what kind of complaint will you be filing?
Well, we're going to investigate a complaint with Cal-OSHA and the state of California, because they're failing to, they're making no physical examinations. For example, in General Hospital in San Francisco, workers have been put on the front lines, African-American workers, without masks, without proper PPE. They filed complaints with Cal-OSHA. Cal-OSHA has refused to send inspectors. What they do is they send a letter to management. Are you taking care of your workers? Are you protecting your workers? That's not good enough. Sending a letter to management about if workers are being protected, when a lot of workers, including Brenda Barrows, who's the president of the chapter of SEIU 1021, she sent a complaint. Cheryl Thornton, who's a shop steward, who was sent out without masks to screen people. These workers are putting their life in danger and their families, and they sent letters to Cal-OSHA. They sent complaints. Cal-OSHA said, we're not going to investigate. We don't have the staff to send out an investigator to General Hospital, to Tesla, to investigate. Are there any other questions? Oh, I want to also say that the racism, it happens that many of the frontline workers here at Tesla are African American, are Latino, are immigrants. And as a result of that, they're further exploited. And we have said actually that if these were white workers, the white workers were sent home, the white workers were allowed to work at home, many of the white workers. It's the African American, Latino workers and immigrants that have been on the front line without proper protection. So we think there's a double standard. And this Friday at 10 o'clock at 1717 Middlefield Road, there's going to be a rally for Juneteenth. Juneteenth celebrates the freedom of blacks in Texas and the United States. We're saying today that this is slavery. If workers are being forced to go into Tesla, if they're being forced to go into meat plants in California that are contaminated, this is the same as slavery. I mean, even in the Upton Sinclair in the jungle, workers in the meat plants in Chicago, when they were organizing in 1919, they did not face what workers here face with a virus that they get and they bring back to their families. That's an outrage again, and it shows the slave-like conditions of workers in this country. They're being coerced to work in dangerous environments and threatening themselves and their family. And Cal-OSHA, Governor Newsom has to take responsibility for that. The AFL-CIO in California, the Labor Federation, and many other organizations sent a letter to Governor Newsom and Cal-OSHA, and we can supply you with that letter. This is weeks ago. This is about a month ago. They sent a letter to Governor Newsom and the legislature asking them for action on Cal-OSHA. There's no response. So Governor Newsom is aware that the labor movement in California is concerned about the health and safety of workers in California. He's aware of that. I don't think he's doing anything because he's taking his directions from Elon Musk. That's where he's taking his directions. Otherwise, he would be doing something about it.